Hello, Minecrafters and Redstoners. I'm Natanus Likens, and subscribe. We are in a creative world today. This is one of my many redstone testing worlds, and we're here to talk about a few things. I'm going to show you some stuff, and the reason for this is actually in response to a request and something I found out uh, about or that he's trying to do. And I just wanted to give a little bit of information, but yeah, this is in response to Good Times with Scar. I know uh, he has asked for the community to figure out how to do something for him, and we need to talk about dolphins for a second. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk about dolphins for a second. Now, you will see that I have set up two little tanks here so that we can talk about it. And there's a significant problem with what he wants to do. So this is for everybody. It is directed at him, but it's for everybody. So you can't keep a dolphin alive, unfortunately. I mean, there is a way to do it. It's not very uh, nice as far as an aquarium is concerned. So his zoo, unfortunately, he is not going to have dolphins in it. He's also not going to have hoglins. We'll go ahead and do the hoglin one first because that's going to be very quick. But the problem is that hoglins, when they come to the overworld, and something I didn't think about, we got to do that. Okay. Yep. Yep. I am a professional. I am prepared. So the problem with hoglins is that once they come to the overworld, they will immediately begin to shake and wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There you go. It will immediately turn into a zoglin. There is no way to prevent that, unfortunately. It will turn into a zoglin if you bring a hoglin to the overworld. It's just gonna die. There's nothing you can do about that. So unfortunately, that is one of the many creatures, one of the two creatures that he is not going to be able to have in his farm. Let's just get. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I could have just put it right back into peaceful mode. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll just throw this right back into peaceful mode. There will be a iron golem in there. We'll get rid of him that way. But yeah, so there you go. You can't. I am professional. I know what I'm doing. So you can't keep them. The problem with dolphins. Okay, so the way their AI works. Sadly, once the player gets a certain range away, you will see that I have a red block right there to let me know how far away I need to be to show this, to demonstrate it. But unfortunately, dolphins will drown if a player is outside of a certain distance from the dolphins. Uh, there's nothing you can do about it, and that's just how they are programmed. Now, with that being said, they do need both water and air. So if you're even attempting this, you're going to need a tank with both water and air available to the dolphin. Again, it's not going to work. They're just going to end up drowning because they need to come up. But we'll demonstrate what exactly happens at. So we're going to do a little bit of a time lapse here because it's going to take a minute. And then I'll be right back to you guys to talk about how you can make a dolphin survive. It's just not going to be pretty. Editing Natanus here. So I left off a little bit of information, and this is going to be slightly out of order because we do talk about it here in a few seconds. But the thing about the dolphins is their AI shuts off if the player is outside of a certain range of them. And because they do need both oxygen and water, effectively what happens is they stop moving around and they just float in the water. And eventually, just like the player, they will drown. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just how they have programmed dolphins. So I'm hoping that makes a little bit more sense with what I'm about to say in the next clip. All right, so there you have it. We didn't actually see the damage being done to the dolphin, which is a bit unfortunate. But basically, what happens is because it is a mammal, it does need oxygen to survive, like the player does. And after a set amount of time, the dolphin will drown. Unfortunately, it does not matter if it is named or not; it will eventually drown. There's nothing you can do about that. But there is a way to prevent that. However, um, let's just go in here. You can see that all of this is bubbles. And basically, what this is going to do is it's going to pop the dolphin up and down out of the water, so it will be getting both oxygen and water all the time at the same time. It has a problem, though. Yeah, yeah. That's your problem right there. Did I mention that there's nothing you can do about it? This is the best that you can do. And in fact, this is exactly what uh, Etho and Grian did for their super speedy highway in season 9. Well, Grian's super speedy highway and Etho's base both had this mechanic in a slightly different format. Like I believe Ethos base had like maybe one or two dolphins in it to cover the entire area with the speed boost that a dolphin gives, and then Grian had several dolphins positioned just out of range of each one of them. That way, you never lose a buff. So you can do this to keep a dolphin alive. Yeah, it looks ridiculous. And remember that anything else that you put in there is also going to be pushed up. Just simply having one single bubble column in there is not going to do it. Having two is not going to do it. Having three is not going to do it. You have to get the entire thing filled so that no matter where the dolphin is when you leave the area, it will always have the it will always have the elevator effect or the pushing effect up from the soul sand below, from the bubble column, basically. And there's not much you can do about that. That's the only way to keep a dolphin alive in any kind of enclosure. That's the only way to do it. Uh, and like I said, unfortunately, this means that making an aquarium with them, you're gonna deal with this kind of stupidity as far as the AI with how the Mojang devs have programmed this poor creature. Uh, I'm not really sure what to do about him. He's just gonna stay. We can just let him go. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna move on from there to another thing that Good Times with Scar had asked for. He didn't despawn. All right. So up next, we need to talk about the crafter. Uh, Redstoners, calm down for a minute. I'm going to be talking to all the builders because this seems to be a thing, and we got to do this. So, for all the builders and all the Redstoners that don't know this, uh, if you look to my right, you will see that we have unpowered crafters there. And on my left, you can see that there are powered ones with redstone blocks behind them. And they have this nice little red light in the corner to let you know that it has been activated. And basically what we're going to do here is GoodTimeWithScar wanted a way to make these blink. Okay, Redstoners, calm down. He's wanting it for decorations. I'm talking to you, Tango, if you see this. Oreo Mango, or Doc M, or anybody. Let's just give the builder what he wants. I'm going to show a couple of different variations on how to make this blink. And the first and foremost thing is you're going to have to build my patented binary system. This is very important. It will not work without it. Yeah, you're going to have to build all this. So go and find my stream where I built all this and just watch how I did it and just copy it. Yeah. So, I'm going to demonstrate. You don't have to do that. This is overkill, but I thought it'd be a good idea for displaying how this works. So, let's not do that yet. We got to turn it on. First up, we've got that one on number 1, and the whole reason I put this on there is I was like, ooh, I have a reason to actually use this binary system that I can have up to 511 different redstone contraptions. So I can demonstrate how different things work. And the first thing I'm doing is getting a crafter to blink. The choices I've made. Anyway, let's get on with it. So first off, we got to activate this. That will send a signal once we activate this. So now spot 1 is on. And this is the first method that I'm going to suggest. You take 2 observers and you face them into each other. And if you see that little red, it's blinking. This is one way he can do it. Or you can do it. If you're a builder and you just want the crafter to blink, please don't, because that redstone causes a lot of lag, and if you just want something to blink, you don't. But this does work. This is a method you could employ to get this to blink. You will notice, though, it is blinking really fast. So it's something that I really don't suggest. Like, don't try to get that to blink that quick. Next up, we can go to number 2 and activate this. And this one's going to be slightly different. It's going to be a little bit slower. It's going to be a little bit slower. Yep. Okay, so there you can see it's on. It's off. And it's on again. Okay, so what is happening here? This is very simple. We just have it hooked up to an etho hopper clock. I'm sorry, etho. And I put 16 items in there. That's probably a little slow. I don't know how fast he wants this going. He didn't give any kind of indicators on how fast he wants this to go. But this is a method to get the crafter to blink. Again, what choices have I made that have led to this? I'm getting a crafter to blink. Okay, so let's go to the next one, which would be 3. And if you don't remember how this works or you didn't watch that video, we're adding all of these together to get to the next one. So 3 is 1 plus 2. And then we got to activate it. Okay, so number 3, we're getting a little bit more complex here. This one, it'll blink, and I feel like it blinks at a decent rate. I can't really tell because I can't split my eyes and watch both of these at the same time if it is blinking in sync. I can't really tell. I think it should be blinking this one, then this one, and then blink, 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 blink. That's what it should be doing. Obviously, I can't look at both of them at the same time. So what is going on here? Well, this is just simply an observer chain. All we've got is this piston is pushing that observer up so that it starts the process. And basically all that's happening here is all these observers are just saying, hey, I see you blinking. Hey, I see you blinking. Hey, I see you blinking. And it's sending a signal all the way through to the crafters, and that is how we are getting it to blink. So that is a very simple method of doing this as well. And I do highly suggest you have some sort of on-off switch regardless of how you do this, because again, redstone is a giant source of lag, especially if you are on a server. I cannot stress that enough. So getting a crafter just to blink, you're just putting strain on the server you're playing on. Anyway, that's that one, and we're going to go on to the next one, which we're going to get a little bit more complex. We're not dealing with anything huge right now. I didn't go all out on this. I just wanted to make a few examples of the simplest things that I think, without any kind of tutorial, Scar or you could just simply put together. Simple as that. So we're on to 4. Let's activate 4. I love this whole thing. This is great. So number 4 over here, this one's a little bit quicker than number 3. As you can see, we're getting blink, 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 blink. And again, I'm not entirely sure if these are blinking in sync. They shouldn't be. It should be the same thing where one's blinking, then the next, and then back and forth. It just blink, 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 blink. It should be that quick. This is basically the same concept as that one, only with a lot less observers. And I had to do a bit of trickery with the redstone, and I don't know if it's something about this particular snapshot, but for some reason that works. And it's not even powering the upper crafter. I don't know why it works, but it does. Yeah, I was doing an experiment here just to see, and I don't need that. I just was messing around with doing stuff. But anyway, what is going on here is basically the same thing. We've got this observer is getting pushed up into position, and once it does, it sends a signal which activates these activator rails. You can also use powered rails, but I think I know why everything is activator rails instead of power rails. Gold. Gold. Yeah, that gold must be it, because you would need a lot of gold for all of that, and with these, you don't. But basically what is going on here is once this is pushed up into position, it says, hey, something changed. It sends out a signal. All these rails power on. I put these 2 observers in here just to give us a little bit of delay. You could put more observers. Ooh, excuse me. You could put more observers to cause a little bit more delay, but I don't think it's necessary in this case, and we are trying to get kind of a balance in speed between the first and second one, or first and third, or what, the first 3. We're trying to get something that's kind of a balance. Like it's not so slow that you're just like, wow, this is taking a while to blink, like number 2, but it's not as fast as number 1, and not nearly as fast as, well, actually 3 is slower than 1. I was saying that backwards. But anyway, that is kind of the process here. And all it's doing is just sending a signal, and it's going into this block, which is powering these redstone pieces here, which goes into this crafter. Yeah, ignore that down there. I was just playing around with the redstone because there seems to be some kind of weirdness in the snapshot with redstone. I don't know why. And again, the whole reason we're in this snapshot is so that we have access to the crafter so I can demonstrate things with it and play around with it myself. So that is that one. And again, none of these are designed to be so complex that you can't just look at and go, oh, I put this here and that's how it works. And if you don't know how to build a etho hopper clock? Like, where have you been? Because I totally do not have to look up how to build that every single time I need an etho hopper clock. It should be something that you just throw together. You know how to build it. You definitely don't need to look it up because you've claimed to have made a whole bunch. Yeah. Okay, so on to number 5. So this is number 5 right here. And we did something a little bit different with number 5. Number 5 is actually a repeater chain, but you can also see that instead of turning on and then turning off, we have it always on and then it turns off. And again, this is fairly simple. So basically what we've got is just a repeater clock right here. All this is you just put a whole bunch of repeaters in a line or in a loop, and then you take the signal somewhere. It doesn't really matter where. You just take out a couple repeaters, put down some redstone dust, and then you can take the signal from that spot. And effectively what I've got going on in this particular example is we are taking the signal from the redstone dust into this repeater, which is going into this block, which depowers this torch. Now, because there is a block above it, this torch is powering on both of these. However, because of this, I probably don't need the block, but I'm not really sure if you are like using this on a server or anything, which the crafter is not even available right now. Now that I think about it, it's only available to Hermitcraft because of the data pack there. You know what? Just ignore me. I was having fun building and testing, and I wanted to show the examples that I came up with, and hopefully you found this informative and you can get your crafters blinking. You don't Redstoners. We can't stand for this. We can't have people making builds and just having something blink.